My name is Sarah, and I'm the founder of Socious. Socious is a talent marketplace that makes impact work accessible and transparent. To illustrate how we are doing this, I want to share a story of Lawrence, a software engineer with a passion for contributing to social and environmental causes. Through our platform, we matched Lawrence with an edtech startup where he can contribute to a social cause and advance his career. He receives a fair salary which is protected by escrow smart contracts. We make Lawrence's impact transparent and traceable by recording his contributions on the blockchain using a Thaler Prism. Based on this verified impact called impact points, he can receive rewards. Until now, more than 4,000 professionals like Lawrence joined our movement, and the vast majority of them are new to the Cardano ecosystem. For Fund 10, we've submitted 5 proposals to improve the product. All of our projects are open source. For this presentation, I will focus on extended quadratic funding. Traditional crowdfunding platforms favor the wealthy and lack decentralization, diversity, and fairness. For instance, if you want to raise funding via GoFundMe, it is easier to reach your funding goal if you have a few wealthy friends. However, it's difficult if your supporters are not wealthy, even when you have many supporters. That's why we propose a new model. Extended quadratic funding combines modest contributions with larger matching sums. This approach promotes fair and inclusive funding for public goods. For example, the quadratic funding formula would give the project with 10 donations of $10 each more matching funds than the project with 1 donation of $100. And we also take into account who is donating by considering their impact points. In other words, even if you don't have wealthy friends, you can still receive large matching sums if you have many small donors who are contributing to social causes. Our long-term goal is to create a circular economy that sustainably produces public goods. In this system, funded projects produce verified outcomes, which are verified and sold on Outcomes X, a marketplace for social outcomes. And the proceeds will go towards the matching pool for the next round of crowdfunding. This system creates a virtuous circle in which the funding pool is constantly replenished. There are many benefits for the Cardano ecosystem. In the short term, Cardano community members can use the platform for fundraising. In the long term, we can attract more people to the Cardano ecosystem. We've already introduced Cardano to 4,000 users. We aim to increase this number to 10,000 by the end of the project. We have an experienced global team to execute this plan. I have more than 15 years of experience in the sector and successfully exited a social venture before. We have engineers and designers who have built products that are loved by millions of users. We've also successfully completed 5 Catalyst projects. Please vote for Socious. With your support, we can give everyone the chance to make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening, and really happy to answer any questions or feedback.
Please feel free to unmute yourself and also chat in the chat box if you have any questions.
Hi, Sarah. That's pretty awesome. And I've been tracking you guys for a little while to see what you're doing in the impact space. So it's good to see that you're picking up quadratic funding. Perhaps you might like to build upon that a little bit more, where it's being used in other places, and some of the things around like how it relates to quadratic voting.
Yes, thank you so much, and good to see you back in the community. Yeah, so thank you for your question. So your first question about like what other players are doing similar things. So Gitcoin is one of the most famous cases. It's mostly Ethereum EVM communities that are using quadratic funding. So how it works is that they fund open source projects, and they have like matching funds from large donors, and also individual donors can contribute, and the matching pool will match based on the number of people and the amount that they raise, right? So that's the kind of like a standard quadratic funding example. And there are a few others that are kind of inspired by Gitcoin, but Gitcoin is probably the most famous case. And within the Cardano community, Snabrilia is trying to do something similar to Gitcoin as well. And so what differentiates Socious from Bitcoin or other quadratic voting funding systems is that we use another layer. We added another layer, which is on top of the number of supporters and the amount of donations they get. But we also take into consideration basically the history or the reputation of each individual who have supported. So that's why we are well placed to do this project through our impact score. So it records your activities that are related to social and environmental impact on a blockchain using a Tally Prism. So this is kind of like a whole portfolio history of your contributions in terms of volunteering, in terms of how many hours you've worked for different projects that are contribute to impact-related projects. And so that what it does is that it allows people who are underrepresented, who come from underrepresented backgrounds, who don't have many wealthy supporters, but maybe they have many supporters who are doing good in the world, and that will give them more voting power. So the more good you do, more contribution you make for the world, the more voting power you have in this funding. So they can, unlike other platforms, these individuals with underrepresented backgrounds can actually get some funds from the matching pool, and then they can implement these open source projects, impact projects. And then another differentiation is that we actually partnered with, I know my time is up, we partnered with OutcomesX. So it actually verifies the impact of the project. So through our platform, they get funding to implement these projects, and these outcomes, like for example, how many plastic bottles have been removed from the ocean, for example, that will be verified, and then that will feed back to the system, and we are trying to create a virtuous circle so that the fund keeps going in the system. I know it's a long answer, but did that answer your question?
That's fine by me. I mean, I've got lots more questions as a result of that, but
yeah,
your time is up on that front.
Yeah,
that's fine by me.
I'll leave my email address, so please give me feedback, questions. I will be happy to continue the discussion. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening, everyone.
Thank you, Sharon. Thanks for your presentation.